today's not normally a filming day for me. Generally I film on Sundays, but I just happened to have the day off today and wanted to film this kind of like purple green smoky eye for you. Also, I have planned some Halloween looks. I did do a pop art zombie. That was my last video. If you guys want to check that out, I'll link that down below, I guess. But yeah, so I have a Mystique video coming up. I obviously haven't like filmed it yet because I haven't done it yet, but I don't think it will be happening until after Halloween, which is kind of odd, but it's something I've been wanting to do for a while regardless of whether it being Halloween or not. But anyways, I wanted to still be doing like beauty looks and whatnot for you guys too, so I wanted to film this smoky eye if you guys like it. It does have like, it is pretty colorful. I don't know if you guys can tell from here. I'll zoom in a bit. Yeah, it is a pretty colorful smoky eye. So if you guys are going out for Halloween or anything and want a beauty look but something that's a little bit more done up, this might work for you. I don't know. You could just swap out the colors or whatnot. Anyways, I am rambling. That's enough out of me. Yeah, let's do this. As usual, I'm going to be priming my lids with the MAC Paint Pot in Soft Ochre. I'm focusing it mainly underneath the brow because I'm going to be putting on another primer or base on my lid after. Now I'm taking the Maybelline Eye Studio Gel Liner and I'm just applying that to the center of the lid. I'm really not going to blend it out too much with that brush because I'm going to go over after with the crease brush and just sort of blend out the edges. And yes, it makes me look weird as fuck. Next, I'm just taking the brush that came with the Vice 3 palette. I'm taking the smaller end of it. It's basically a double end brush. And I'm just buffing out all the edges of that black gel liner. Basically, I only put it in the center of the lid because once I start blending it out, it'll eventually cover my entire lid. Now I'm taking Creme Brule from Makeup Geek, and on the Real Techniques Deluxe Crease Brush, I'm just patting that in and really just slowly kind of sweeping that into the crease, just to sort of, again, buff out the edges of that black liner, but also just warm up the crease as well a little bit. Next, as usual, I can never decide on just one color, so I'm mixing together 3 colors from the Vice 3 palette, and just on a general shading brush, guys, any shading brush will do. I'm just packing that onto the, I'd say the outer 2/3 of the eye. Notice how I'm not sweeping it on, I'm really packing it on, and because I have that black base on there, it's really going to stick to that base, and it's also going to appear a lot more opaque as well. Then I'm taking my trusty Delium Tools blending brush and I'm just going to blend out those edges again because, you know, blending, that's what I do. Now I'm taking my good old non-existing MAC brush. It's a 232. I've said in other videos before, I don't think they make it anymore. And just from the Vice palette again, I'm taking that green and blue color, mixing them together and putting them on the inner corner of the eye and sort of blending it towards the middle, and then I'm kind of going over the line where the purple and the green meet to sort of blend them together, create more of like a middle shade. A lot of people ask me, how do I do a smoky eye without making it look like I have raccoon eyes? Well guys, I can't tell you because look, my smoky eye, I look like a freak. So that's why I do my eyes before my foundation, so that if you do have any fallout, you can just clean it up after. Then I'm taking my Sonia Kashuk brush, which is a crease brush, and I'm just taking any matte black shadow will do, just into the crease again, just to sort of darken it up a little bit more. Then I realized when I was blending with this brush that it had a lot of pigment on it left over from the last time I was using it. So I switched over to a clean Sigma E40 brush instead, just because with that color on that last brush, it was taking the shadow just up a little bit too high. So I'm blending it out here, but I'm going to have to go over and clean it up a little bit after with some makeup remover, just because the blending was getting up a little bit too high and it just looked a little too crazy for my liking. This is the nice part though about doing your eye makeup before your foundation, guys, because like I said, you can just go and clean up any fallout or any mess you make after, and you really don't have to worry about ruining any of the makeup. I don't know why I used that brush. Honestly, I just picked it up. It worked out pretty well though, just to kind of buff out again those edges, because when I'd removed the makeup, it made a really harsh line again, and I just wanted to buff them out and make the sort of blending at the top a little bit more seamless. So I don't know, I just picked up that brush and it worked out to my advantage pretty well. Now I'm just taking a little bit more of a precise chisel brush and again just kind of re-darkening up that crease, and I'm also going to go in with the green again and just kind of reapply that green again too, just to add back any depth or like dimension or brightness that I lost when I was blending or removing the makeup. Now for my face, I am taking the Hourglass Mineral Veil Primer. It's stupid expensive, but it is probably the greatest primer I've ever used in my entire life. I can't even begin to tell you why. If you want a video for a review on it, or how a more like in-depth version of how I do my foundation routine or whatnot, I can do that for you guys. But anyways, it's an amazing primer. I'm putting that all over my face, clean fingers, you know the drill. Next, I'm taking the NYX Magic Wand Concealer in green. I don't know if there are other colors actually, but essentially it's a green color correcting concealer. If you guys don't know about those, essentially green color, or sorry, cancels out red tones. So I'm just putting that over any areas of redness, and there are a lot of them. I've been breaking out like crazy lately. So yeah, basically just any areas where I have redness, I'm putting that concealer. Next, I'm taking my Too Faced Born This Way foundation. This is my favorite foundation at the moment. It's a super full coverage foundation, but it's also very hydrating. So if you have dry skin and you want a full coverage foundation, this one would be ideal for you. Because this foundation isn't an exact match to my skin tone, I'm just making sure to really blend it into my hairline, down my neck, my ears. Basically, the less sort of harsh lines I have, the less visible and apparent it's going to be that it isn't an exact match to my skin tone. Even if it is a couple of shades off, as long as you blend it out really well, it's not going to be that noticeable. Now I'm taking my Anastasia Dipbrow because it's my ride or die brow product, and I'm just going to brush my brows out, and then kind of just with a MAC 263 brush start drawing in little hairs. I am honestly super terrible at filming how I do my brows, guys, because I'm like, no joke, it takes me like 20 minutes to do my brows. It's pretty pathetic. So if you want a more in-depth video on how I do my brows, I will work on filming that for you guys. But honestly, this video, you're not going to see a very good footage of me doing that. Same with eyeliner. I also suck at filming that. So I will work on that for you guys, but it is what it is. After I'm finished with the dip brow, I like to just take Benefit's Gimme Brow. I think I'm using it in the medium dark shade, and I just like to run that through my brows for a little bit more depth. Then I just take the Sephora brand Beauty Blender dupe, essentially, and I'm just patting it kind of all over my face, but really focusing on the areas where that foundation has started to settle. So generally any like fine lines or like creases, and just kind of picking up any of that excess foundation. Then I'm taking my MAC Prep and Prime concealer, I guess you could call it. It's in the shade Bright Forecast. It has a little bit of an orange tinge to it, so I use that to put under my eyes to sort of cancel out any purple or blue tones. And then I'll go in afterwards with a regular concealer as well. So now I take my Urban Decay Naked Skin Concealer. It is, I would say, 2 to 3 shades lighter than my natural skin tone. And basically I'm just using that to highlight and conceal as well. So I'm putting it on all the high points of my face. It's going to look really weird again, like the green concealer did, but essentially any areas that I want to have highlighted, I put that on there, and then I just take my little Real Techniques kind of like foundation brush, and I just sort of brush that out to sort of blend out those like harsh lines. Then I'm taking the Real Techniques sponge. It's a little bit more soft and damp than the previous sponge I was using, and I'm using that to just blend out the concealer a little bit further. Next, I'm taking my Mercier Translucent setting powder, and I'm setting all the areas that I used concealer on, and I'm using a little technique called baking. Now here's what I'm talking about with my eyeliner. Again, guys, I apologize. I'm the worst at filming myself doing eyeliner. Essentially, I'm just doing a winged eyeliner. There's really nothing more I can tell you. Next, I'm just using a small powder brush to dust away any leftover powder from when I set my concealer. Now I'm just going to tight line and line my lower waterline and lower lash line with my Nars, what is it called? Via Veneto long wearing eyeliner. Then using my Sigma pencil brush, I'm just going to buff out a little bit of that black liner and just kind of bring it in a little bit closer to the inner corner of the eye. Then using that same pencil brush, I'm picking up that green and blue shade that I used from the Vice 3 palette, and I'm applying that to the lower lash line as well, but keeping it just to the outer 2/3 of the eye. Then I'm applying my Too Faced Better Than Sex mascara, and I'm going to throw on some lashes as well. Then my lights decided that they were going to die, so I'm moving extremely quickly here. This is not fast motion, this is how fast I'm moving. I'm just contouring my face using the Anastasia light to medium contour kit. I'm mainly using the shade Fawn, which is the middle contour shade. But yeah, just contouring cheekbones, hairline, jawline, all the standard contour places. Then I'm applying my MAC Pinch Me blush, which is my favorite kind of go-to fall winter shade, and I'm just putting that on the apples of my cheeks. And then using a larger, fluffier brush, I'm just sort of blending out any harsh lines that I may have left from the contouring and blush. Using the Real Techniques contour brush, I'm just adding a little bit of Jaclyn Hill's Champagne Pop highlight to the tops of my cheekbones, the bridge of my nose, down the top of my lips and my chin. Lastly, I'm just lining my lips with MAC's Morning Coffee lip liner, and then I'm applying Velvet Teddy lipstick from MAC as well, and Myth also from MAC, just to the center of the lip to sort of add a little bit more lightness to the center of the lip. Yeah. So that is the finished look, guys. Please don't forget to subscribe and like this video and share it with your friends. Thanks so much for watching. Okay, bye.